Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cathedral of Velvet podcast. I am your host, as always, Paragy Show, and today we got a guest today. Please introduce yourself, my lovely little guest.
Hello, my little demon captures. My name is Air, and I'm here to guest in the podcast today with my good friend. And I hope that you enjoy this wonderful audio experience.
Yes, and you are the very first guest on this podcast, so give it up for Gary. Woo!
Thank you. I feel very honored.
Yes. Very first guest. Might come back for a couple more times, but thank you very much for being on here.
Well, it's like a fusion, you need me when you need me. Otherwise, you can send me back to the shadows.
Yes, I'll bring back with the with the companion. Like, I need you again. Come back here.
You got my signature in there. I'm only like 50,000, Maka. Don't worry about it.
Yes, and like always, this podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you guys don't want to watch the video, but I highly recommend you guys do. And if you guys do want to watch this or listen to this podcast ad free, please check out the Patreon. Just as low as $3 a month can support your boy and anything else that comes up on the channel. So thank you guys very much for your support.
This man does hard work. All right.
So yeah, today, well, not very much news came out recently. Last week I did a 1.5 episode of the podcast with the whole leak regarding Persona 3 with that remake.
Yeah, that leak was pretty crazy, right? People are still speculating whether that's actually like a real footage or if that's something that somebody made, and especially with the Jet Set Radio as well. So people are kind of discussing whether that's actually a remake or if that was just a video that somebody made out of some like unreal footage or stuff like this.
Like, do you think it's like actually real, or do you think like it could be faked?
I mean, you never should buy in the hype for things, but personally, and this is again my opinion, but with Persona 3 Portable being put to Steam along with Golden so quickly, it feels almost unlikely that they would announce a remake so soon. But considering the state of Portable and how they would definitely start using Persona 5's engine like they did with SMT5, I think that remaking Persona 3 is the best way for Atlus to make money. And to be honest, I mean, that definitely looked like Persona 5's engine.
Yeah, like actually SMT is actually using Unreal Engine, surprisingly. And P5 is like a different, and like I think that's its own it's using the Cathon, an updated Cathon engine. So like,
yeah, but it did look more like the Persona 5 engine than the
I believe Persona 3 Dancing uses that engine as well. So I think they're just using that older model, updating that, and just making it look a bit better. But I kind of hope that it's real. I kind of do hope.
In short, I, in my heart, believe it's real. But we don't know.
But if it is real, do you think it's going to be announced this year, like later on this year, or do you think like probably next year? Because apparently like
24.
24?
Yeah.
Because apparently like that was shown in 2021. So that's like just a little bit over like 2 years of more development.
Well, remember Soul Hackers 2 just came out as well. I feel like they're going to wait a year for a big announcement like a remake of Persona 3.
I mean, not gonna lie, Soul Hackers 2 is... I don't think that was Atlus' big kind of game. I feel like that was made by like a smaller team. Just like, hey, we're bringing back Soul Hackers. And it didn't really do that well.
Yeah, I heard that game was not well received.
Yeah, like I think what I saw like from like the financial reports, it did less than Tokyo Mirage sessions, like with its re-release too. So it's just like, ooh, just like with Soul Hackers 2, I the story was really predictable, and the dungeons were really boring.
I haven't played the game personally, but I have seen footage of it. I will say that I feel like they played it much too safe when it came to the combat and the way that they had the story. But I really
Yeah.
like the characters.
Yeah, I do like the characters. Like
I personally, when I look at Soul Hackers 2, in my brain I go, man, you could have just made like a Persona 1 or 2 style game out of this. You really could have like got that like SMT edge to it again with the adult characters, but they just didn't nail it. Like I feel like if they took Soul Hackers 2 and they gave it like an SMT4 vibe halfway through, it would have been much better. Or if they just stuck closer to Soul Hackers 1.
yeah, just it felt like the gameplay, it felt very bare bones. Not gonna lie, like it's just like, yeah, it's turn based and that's it. Like the only like something that makes it Coco different is like the little soul gauge at the top where it's just like, oh, if you hit the weakness, you get like at the end of the turn, get this massive attack with your part. It's basically like a all-out attack, but with all your demons if you hit the weakness enough.
So it's kind of like a amped up version of Strange Journey, where you get the demon co-op for hitting weaknesses.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie,
Or
I
is it
haven't
more like
beaten Soul.
Apocalypse,
I
where you
mean,
build up a god? Like, is it like Apocalypse? You build up a gauge and then you like unleash a special like combo attack with your character? I don't know.
it's a counter that like oh, if you hit the weakness, like, oh, you get 1 bonus point to your it's like, oh, every 1 point is like, oh, here's 1 more demon from your party that gets be part of that all-out attack. Oh, get, I think like goes up to like 12, I think, because I think that's the max demons you can have. So
Yeah.
like have all 12 and every one of your demons gets in, and certain demons have special abilities where it's just like, oh, if you have this certain demon with this certain ability, it'll give you extra damage in your attack, or you'll get extra items after the attack, or something along the lines of that.
Okay. You know what I would like to see from a Soul Hacker game? I would like if you took half of the system from Digital Devil Saga, because you know how you had the ability to like use these attacks where if you finished off an enemy with them, you would get like extra experience and you'd like build up like the second half of your character level up for being like, you know, a demon that eats other demons.
Yeah.
Like, what if you did that with Soul Hackers, where you had like a element-based attack that had like a small percent chance to activate, like how Hama and Mudo would, and you would hack a demon, and you get to pick a skill from the demon's list, and you get to use it for that turn on your next turn. Like, imagine if you hack a boss by hitting its weakness, and then like the boss has like debilitate, and you could use that on the boss.
Oh.
I think that that'd be really cool, and it would challenge people to like do solo runs where you would only steal skills off of people you're fighting.
That's actually sounds.
I think
It
it's
sounds
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, because you're hacking the code of the demon. I just feel like that would be a cool idea for them forward. But you know, that's just my opinion. You know, I like cool new gameplay if you're gonna make a new Soul Hackers game.
Yeah. But hey, how about you tell the audience about your experience with, you know, SMT Persona, because you really seems like you know a lot about it.
Oh, sorry. So I started off knowing about the SMT and Persona series by playing Persona 4. And then I went back to 3, and I loved 3 to death. And from there, I tried to learn the roots of where it came from, so I ended up playing 1 and 2, even though it was incredibly rough to do so. I bought a 3DS at the time, and I played SMT4 and then Apocalypse. And from there, I just slowly like tried to play every single one that I could get my hands on, like Nocturne and all that. I have yet to touch anything that is before Nocturne in the SMT series, but I have great appreciation for it.
Yeah, like I think I said in the first episode, like, oh yeah, I started with the Devil Survivor, but no, like actually started with Persona 3 Portable. That was the first Persona game that I played, but like before then, like I didn't have any like Sony consoles at the point, so like I was just like watching like I was watching like KZ play Persona 4, like that was my first introduction playing.
That's how I first got introduced as well, and then I ended up playing it.
Yeah, so like oh, thank you for the internet for introducing to let me know about all these games.
Yeah, I think another good inspiration for me was, if we're just going to shout out people, if anyone here who listens to this podcast is interested in learning about the older games and the challenges that it was to play them, or the intricate like storylines of SMT, you should look up somebody named Marsh. He's done full playthroughs and retrospectives on the games, and if there is just that barrier to entry, like the games are just too old for you, but you want to get to know like how we got to this point, those videos are really digestible and they make great listening material, just like the podcast would. So shout outs to him.
Yeah, like I really want to try to get back into playing Persona 1 and 2. Like I have them on both my Vita and PS3, but I'm tempted to play them, but I'm also like, oh, maybe that remake could be announced anytime soon. I'm just like, oh.
I was talking with a few friends of mine and saying like the next thing I would want for them to do is to actually do a because Atlus hasn't touched 1 and 2. They just refuse to do anything with them outside of a port to the PSP, which I'm sure most people that have tried to play the ports understand that they're not that great. They took out some features or changed the music in some way that was poor for the for the Persona 1.
But hey, they added back the Ice Queen.
They did, but the second game, we only have Innocent Sin, not Eternal Punishment, at least in the West. And okay, let me just. Not a lot of people know this, and this is actually covered in March video as well. Did you know that Persona 2 actually wasn't supposed to be turn-based? It was actually real time.
Oh.
And when you press a button, it pauses what's happening on screen for you to change what you want your characters to do. So combat's supposed to play real time until you want to change what attacks they're doing.
Or is that similar to like ATB, like in Final Fantasy?
Yeah, but like instead of you like having a bar that fills up, you're just watching the fight happen until you press a button to pause what's happening.
I'm surprised I didn't know that.
Yeah, like it's like the entirety of Persona 2 Innocent Sin is actually like the battles are supposed to be way faster and more like chaotic, rather than having to pick what you're doing every single turn. It's more reactionary. It's really weird. I like it a lot.
Is there any mods that like if people are able to like just yeah, we could just put this in as mod?
Not that I know of currently, but I think I'd have to like load it up again. I think if you mess in the settings enough, you can actually set it to be back to that default battle mode in the port for the PSP. But I have to check.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of like 1 and 2, what did you think about like the Persona 25th Anniversary?
Ooh.
If I'm getting any other guess, I'm gonna ask them like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Because it's just like some people are just like, "Oh yeah, it was all right, it was good." Just then other people are just like, "Yeah, that was horrible."
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't hate it, but I feel like you feel like they're trying too hard because they've done concerts all the time, and the music's great, but sometimes it's like, did you really have to do that again? Again?
Like, if I'm remembering right, like, they do this, like, every, like, 3 years or so, because I think the last time, was, I think, 2019, but then, like, I think that also goes on, like, with, like, COVID was all the rage in between then.
Yeah, feel free to call me, a hater here. I love Mass Destruction. Fantastic song. Mass Destruction has like eight different versions. Whew.
I mean,
They're all good, but like, Christ.
I mean, you can't go wrong with baby, 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 yeah.
You really can't. As for 1 and 2, though, I like 2 the way it is. I like the way they did the PSP versions of the songs too. Otherwise, just don't try to Persona 3, 4, or 5 the soundtrack. Like Meguro, just leave it how it is. As for Persona 1, do we really need to talk about the PSP version? Like,
I mean, it's better than the PS1 version.
I meant the music, but yeah. So like they did do a song, like they put on like the little CD. They did the Persona 1, the motif, the Le motif, which is the opening to Persona 1. And I don't know if you've heard that little minute and a half introduction awakening song. It is perfect. It captures the tone of Persona 1 and how dark and ominous it is perfectly. Atlus knows how to make the tone, the gravitas, if you will, of Persona 1 and 2 to make it deadly serious and more SMT-like. But a lot of people don't think they can do that anymore.
Yeah, like people say, oh, they can't touch Persona 1 and 2 because the original creators aren't, with Atlus anymore. I'm just like, since when has that ever stopped them with using, Persona 1 and 2 and anything else?
I'd say it'd be very difficult to capture the same feeling of both games. Maybe it's a respect thing. I mean, that's fair. I feel like if they do touch 1 and 2, which I hope they do, I would want them to treat it with the same level of respect, especially for the composer for 1. That game has 100 tracks, and they're fantastic. And as much as I like Shoji Meguro's music, it just doesn't fit the tone.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, I feel like, like they know the music. Like, if you're like if you're a good musician, you could just like either try your best to like recreate that as best as you can, or if technology's there, just like try to remaster the original track to bring back to modern.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hey.
As for the concert, though, like, it's just whatever. 25th anniversary concert, it happens all the time. Some of them are really good, some of them are hit and miss. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's just like, with the anniversary as a whole, I was not like, oh yeah, I'm glad, like, Persona 4 Arena is back, but just like, oh, there's no physical release. Oh,
my wife who's back. Miss Lapis so much.
Labris.
I love her to death. I don't know, the dub's little accent they gave her, perfect. Fantastic character to put next to Medicine, I guess, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like Labris, like, but you can't be the original Toaster.
Yeah, I guess it's great.
And we got the ports for 3, 4, and 5 to modern consoles. I mean, that was good. But like, did they really have to like end off the concert just like, hey, it's coming out in a few weeks? I was like, did you really need to like have that as the last announcement for the entire year?
Yeah.
I mean, like at least something new, like like I was like very disappointed. Just like I love those games, like I do, and I wouldn't mind picking them up, but like after an entire year, just like there was nothing new, like something that like, oh, we haven't seen this before, but we already seen all these other things before.
Give them like devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
They've been pushing a lot out. Like, man, they've been milking Persona like crazy.
Yeah. And like I believe I read like in an interview like the remasters like weren't even done by like in-house Atlus. It was done by Sega.
Yeah.
So it was just thinking like, okay, if Sega's the one doing the ports, what was Atlus doing this entire time?
Which, by the way, those ports are pretty ugh.
I mean, 4 is alright because it's basically the PC version on others, but
yeah,
portable.
But did you see portable?
Portable.
Oh my god, the the audio quality. Come on. You got like 1990s sound blaster, sound cards noises coming out that like what's happening?
I mean, I think like even like playing on like the Vita version like probably sounds better than what was being played on the.
It does actually. There was comparison videos people did of like the PSP of portable and like all the versions, and the audio compression is so bad in comparison to the actual handheld.
Like
something happened there.
Like,
I hope they patch it, but I doubt they will.
I mean, from like I believe SMT Network Trail, like, oh yeah, they're planning on releasing an update patch like to fix the audio, and I'm like, I don't really mind I don't care for the audio. What I want is manual skill inheritance. Like they have to put that into this. And I'm just like, why? That's the one major thing that it needs.
Like, the one thing every SMT player loves is when we switched over to manual skill inheritance. I mean, they even did it for Nocturne.
Yes, but that was literally even after the initial release, like of the remaster. They had to put in a patch after release.
Crazy.
So just like even like playing like a Vita version now, like there was a point where I was literally trying to like get a certain skill, like I believe it was Mabufu for Lilith, because it's a quest for Elizabeth, and it took me I think nearly like half an hour to get that skill on there. Just going back, enter again, going back, enter again. I couldn't get it for half an hour. It's just like that was just horrible. Like,
yeah, it's been they're doing their best, I guess. They're trying to get more accessible and bring the franchise out to everyone, so it's not locked on certain consoles. And I appreciate it, but if you're gonna outsource it to Sega, like the least you could do is make sure that it functions like in a way that's up to standard. I mean, even portables like actual backgrounds and stuff, which they're just flat like 2D key art, right? Or like screenshots from Persona 3.
I think
they tried to AI upscale it and it looks so bad.
Yeah, like I think like it was like recreated for like original and then just upscaled for the remastered.
I would have just taken a flat 2D like background art piece instead of like what it normally would have looked like. Like put concept pictures there. Something.
And like even like with the models too, just like for both like the overworld and like when going to Tartarus, just like it, there was barely anything done. Like it's just like, oh yeah, it's still all blocky. I mean, they could have like imported like even like the PS2 models and could have looked a bit better.
Yeah. And, I feel like I'm speaking for everyone that's played Persona 3 here. I feel like we all would have preferred if they just brought FES over like they did Golden.
It's a double-edged sword that I think, like, okay, you got FES with its fully 3D world. It also has the answer to it. But
Also has the cutscenes.
yeah, and the cutscenes. But with Portable, you also get the fully playable party members. You also get the female route with the entire, like, whole new social links you got there.
Yeah, with MC, all that.
Yeah, so it's just...
Yeah.
Do you think like with like the remake, like they're gonna put in the female MC, or they're just gonna do straight up Fez remake, just like so they can have like entire one continuity?
I'll be honest. I feel like they're just going to bring over original FES, and I hope they include the answer. Because if they're doing a full remake of P3, I don't even know if they're going to include the answer.
I mean, I feel like they have, because that feels like, like at least like story wise continues on like into like Arena 2 with Elizabeth's story.
No, but what if they just make it part of the story?
Yeah, like just like it's one.
What if they make that an after dungeon you do?
Yeah,
What
like
if they compress it down? Like I'm trying to think of what they would actually do.
Like I think it would probably be like have you played Tales of Grace's F?
No.
Okay, so like in Tales of Grace's F, like Grace's like it originally released on the Wii in Japan, but then later on it was re-released for the West on PS3, and they added an extra like epilogue story, and like it's basically like a separate, like I think it's like just similar to like the answer, just like, oh yeah, it's a separate icon where it's just like, okay, after you beat the game, or if you already know what the game is about, you can just hit on there.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't even see, like, the other reason I think Persona 3 Remake wouldn't even be that bad, and like why I think it's real, is because they don't even need to make cutscenes. They can just use the movies.
Like I've rewatched the movies like recently, and they changed a lot of things in there. That's like some events happens earlier than in the games.
Yeah, but if you cut stuff out and put it in places of where it would happen in the game, like it wouldn't be like that breaking, because you don't have the whole context of the movie. That, or they just remodel the remake after the movie, which would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, like and like I believe like there's like one of the full moon bosses where just like, oh yeah, it has Ken and Shinji in there when they weren't even like there at the point of the story in the game.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they will just like remake the entirety of Persona 3 to follow like how the movie goes. It's possible.
This episode of the Cathedral Velvet podcast is sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink that's made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or inks like other energy drinks. There's also no filters or artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins like B3, B6, C, amino acids, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. W allows you to have faster reaction times paired with laser sharp focus. They have a variety of tubs, shakers, accessories to choose from. If you want to start winning more, they made this for you. Go to the first link in the description below and use code PowerJ at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's PowerJ at checkout to save 10% on your order. Thank you for W for sponsoring this episode. Now back to the show. They could possibly do that. But I feel like,
I mean, look what they did with Strange Journey Redux. they changed how Strange Journey was entirely. All the endings are completely different.
Yeah, it could be like just like, oh yeah, this is a complete quote unquote remake for the 3DS.
Yeah.
So like it has its own like continuity.
But you know, we won't know until we have more information on it.
I mean, like I feel like if they like were to like announce this remake, it might be like during Summer Games Fest where like last year they like, oh hey, here's the first look at the English dub of Soul Hackers 2. But like there was like literally like 10 seconds of English dub.
So it's the equivalent of like old E3 footage of in-engine footage. Cool, I saw like 5 seconds of game.
Yep, totally in engine.
Totally. Not pre-rendered cutscene. Nope. But no, like to keep the segment short. Sorry for all you folks out there.
They're in it for the content for the lulz.
They're in it for yeah. Like, love the ports. I'm glad they exist. Just wish they put in more effort rather than outsourcing the way they did.
It's barely outsourcing. It's just like, hey, bring it over to the next building.
Yeah. But along with the topic you just said about the anniversary, since they've been outsourcing stuff and there wasn't a huge announcement, maybe something big will happen this year.
Maybe, because
I'm thinking like September, October, maybe.
Yeah, around like Tokyo Game Show, Jump Festa, we might get something around there. But we also have SMT's anniversary this year too, and like they're having concerts for that both in Japan and in America for the first time.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I believe the one for Japan, I believe that's supposed to be happening in May, and then the one for America is happening during Anime Expo.
You said Anime Expo?
Yep.
July 1st, 2023.
That's Anime Expo?
I can't tell. They have a website up called, Atlus.com SMT30th. And it says it is in LA at the Novo on July 1st. And there's purchasing tickets now. Anime Expo badge is required for entry. Yes.
That one's happening. Yeah, I'm seeing right here. Happening in July.
Yep.
And just want to see which one. It's the Japan one. I believe that should be coming up soon. Come on, Persona Central. Don't fail me now. Yes, May 5th and the 6th. So 1 month from each other.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But
I hope that we get some online distribution of the concert, because they have released a few album stuff for the Persona games on like Spotify and stuff like this, and not much of the concert stuff as well.
Yeah, like I think last year's concert, I think that might be getting like a Western distribution, I believe I saw.
It'd be nice if they did. There are definitely some versions of the concert that sound incredible. So, we'll see how it goes.
Do you think we're actually...
Yeah, with SMT 30th, I mean, hell, we could get an announcement for the mainline series as well.
I feel like personally it will be too soon, because SMT5 came out like at the tail end 2021.
And then Soul Hackers 2, and Mm.
I think they're considering like just the main line, not like what the West is like. Oh, everything is SMT. Like
No, I haven't kept up with like the politics of like who does what, like which team handles stuff. Does the SMT crew work separately from the Persona crew?
yeah, there's Team Maniacs, and there's that does the whole SMT stuff. Then there's P Studio that does the Persona, and then there's Studio Zero, which is supposed to be working on Project Wii Fantasy, which we haven't heard anything in a freaking 6-7 years.
It's alive, probably. Schrodinger's game. I mean, personally, it'd be cool to see the SMT crew work on Persona 1.
I mean,
Like,
it's not
like
possible.
a collab between both studios to make it like, you know, who
Like,
knows?
like people like when SMT5 like first came like released and like people they mined, they found like information regarding to like like something PS4 or PS5 related. So there could be a port of SMT5 to like PS4, PS5, maybe even
Could you
PC.
imagine if they ported it to PC? Oh my god.
I mean, it could run better at a better frame rate, that's for sure. Like
I would love SMT5.
SMT5 looks great, but just the frame rate is just it could be better.
Yeah, I think SMT5 port would be the only thing that I could see them announcing.
Either that or they do like an SMT4 Apocalypse, or just like, oh hey, here's a side game or like a sequel to it, send in the same world, same everything. Just hey, here's another character.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Apocalypse, but I also feel like someone's lost there.
Bro, like Apocalypse was like with its character most specifically, like it's a horny fest, just like freaking like just like two characters are just like so horny for the main characters, just like this is so off for SMT, like
Oh my
for
God.
real.
Did I don't know if we've ever personally talked about this. This is gonna be a little sidetrack here. Did you see the actual original like concept art for Apocalypse for some of the characters?
Um,
And like seeing the shift between what they would have been like to the, as you say, fetishist design now.
I don't think I have.
There's one in particular. I'm trying to remember her name. Toki.
Oh yeah, it was Toki and I forgot that other girl's name. Just like those two were
Asabi?
just so horny for the MC. I was just like, I feel so awkward just seeing those two around.
Yeah. So like, if you don't mind, I'm actually going to link in this call here, and you can use this for the video if you want. I don't mind.
Yeah.
So like, I'm going to put up like her original design. I'm going to take it like without the mask, right? And then I'm going to put the concept design immediately after. And I want you to look at them and tell me which one you prefer. Because I think hands down, the concept one is just, it's the winner. Like, how did they go from the concept to the one that we have? It feels just so wrong to me.
Alright, so just showing on screen Toki's in-game design without the mask. And yeah, but like, she's alright.
I just love the concept one so much more, especially because like she's supposed to represent, if I remember, like the cult of Gaia.
Yeah.
So she has the symbols all over her in the red and black, and it makes more sense, right? And I could see this character being more of the design they were going for, rather than this assassin type character, which is like, I want to kill you, but then like immediately like 180s to have my babies for no reason.
Oh, that is That is a change in design. Holy cow.
Yeah, so that was her original design, and I love it way more.
I mean, it's definitely a cuter design than Goth.
Yeah.
And
There
I
was
just
a
realized with the version the final version, she's wearing like a one piece. I didn't even realize that that the cover is like see-through. I
yeah,
thought it was just like some kind of blanket.
yeah. And most of these designs that you see, you can actually find. They release them. I think GameSpot actually has an article with the concept art designs that were made. So you can see these, and I'm just wondering why the concept art is just so different for Toki specifically. Because if you look for the ones for the other main characters that support, you know, like Sabi and oh my god, Nozomi.
Yeah, Nozomi.
They're
That was no wait.
like
Nozomi
she
is
went from
the
short hair to
blonde.
long hair.
Wait, Nozomi's the blonde hair one, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So her design, actually, like she had much shorter hair. And she like had a sniper rifle. She was pretty cool. I'll actually link that one to you real quick. I love both designs. I think Nozomi's fine. But yeah, like I feel like Apocalypse just kind of slightly missed the mark on design, and it felt way too, in my opinion. Apocalypse is way more Persona than is SMT for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like
the game has a Persona 5 moment where it's like the beginning of the game is dark and you're super invested in it because it's crazy what's happening. You know, Kamoshida and all that stuff. Like that's a hard moment, right?
yeah.
That happens in Apocalypse. And then you get towards the middle of the game and you're like, okay, what's the stakes? What's happening? Why are we just we're putzing around with our little harem of demon tamers, you know?
I kind of feel like it's probably because like this is probably like SMT like SMT4A. It has like the most characters like out of like a mainline SMT game, so it's probably because of that. Because like with SMT3, you got like what five play talkable characters.
And I don't hate Apocalypse. I love Apocalypse. I think it's a really good game. It just felt like weird. It felt so different from 4. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I don't know where they were going with that. Just like the protagonist is cool. Dagda is he's Irish.
Yeah,
or is he
Irish.
Scottish? I think he's Irish.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think he's Irish.
We're offending everyone on the podcast right now. I'm just kidding.
I think he's Irish folklore, but like he's cool. Like,
And there are some legitimate cool moments in that game that I will not spoil for people here. But when Flynn shows up, oh,
he's a character now! Yay!
He's a character, and dude, there was a really good moment during that game. I'm again not gonna say what, but man, it's so nice to have him show up and to do things, and for some plot twist to happen with his character.
Yeah, just like I like it when like, oh hey, the protagonist of this previous game came back, and oh look, from a non-voice, well, sort of non-voice to fully voice, he's got character development.
Yeah, and that's why I like Soul Hackers too, is because like they were not afraid to just get in there and be like, we have characters. Like everyone likes having a silent protagonist in the SMT game, but like we also love to see like actual good characters out of your main characters as well. Like having that little bit of snark helps. You know?
Yeah. Like I've seen like a video recently saying like, oh, like it was about Persona 5's like bad Valentine's Day end, and like how is is this out of character for Joker or is it not? It's like all about how like are are all like non-voice protagonists or like characters where you have to like quote unquote self-insert really out of character, or is it actually their character, or is it just you putting their character as, you know, you making the character be like that when it's not really them?
And who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, at the end it's just
all
it's
you
all
can
up
all you can
for
work
interpretation.
all you can work off of is the anime, unfortunately. Like,
Yeah,
for example, everyone knows that Yu Narukami is a weirdo who always picks
he's a
the last
fucking
option on the
Chad.
list. Yeah. He just loves fishing.
And he is the king, his shirtless self.
So good. But yeah, like, it was just a weird shift. I don't have any complaints about Apocalypse as a game, other than I feel like they just really tilted in a weird direction. And I hope that if they decide to remake 3 or anything else, they don't keep going in that direction.
I mean, like, yeah, with like 3, you are required to have like a harem with all the female like characters. Like, there's like no choice of just like, oh, no choice of, yeah, we could just be friends, or like, or just be like platonic or anything like that. But like,
I mean, you could do it in 5. You can. I think that was the first game where you could platonically like move everyone.
oh, I think you could do that in 4 too. Just like, oh, like I think like someone's just like, oh, you could hug a character, or just like,
I think it wasn't 4 base. I think it was golden. I think in base Persona 4 you couldn't do that.
Like I could swore like with like at least with like what I remember most like with Chie's support, social like it was like that. Just like go if they like go like after like beating someone up for the social, like just like you could hug her or something like that, or just like have a hand on her shoulder or something like that.
Like, yeah, we're not together. We're good friends.
Hooray for
Man.
platonic friendship.
All right, I'm gonna come out here, 5 years late to this fight, but I gotta represent for the small people. Look, man, I miss old Chie's VA. That's all. I'll die on this hill. New VA is great. I just feel like the personality's different. Miss old VA. Just saying.
Yeah, I can see that, like, and it doesn't really help that I know Erin. Just like
no, again, she does a great job of what she's doing. I'm just not a big of Fistake fan as I was old Chie fan.
I mean, the Fistake thing was a Marie thing.
Yeah, but then they ported it over to Arena and people, yeah.
Like I do like her energy. Like I do like that. It's just like, oh yeah, time to fight. Let's go. But I can understand, like, yeah, that could be a bit too much. Like, and the original voice actress like does give a more of a tomboy feel than what Erin does.
But no, like that's because I played like base P4, so maybe there's some bias there.
Like, yeah, I played both. Like, I did play the original first before playing Golden.
Yeah.
Like, I think I kind of prefer Erin.
And that's fine. That's why I'm fighting for the small group here. I think Erin does a great job. But yeah.
Yeah, like what do you think about like Teddy's change of voice from 4 to
I don't
to
mind
Golden?
it. It's like, it kind of, if I had any complaints about Teddy's, kind of like sort of the same with Chi, where it's like it's a little too screech, but not that bad. I think Teddy's just Teddy. I mean, let's be honest.
Okay, well, let me ask you. Out of between Koromaru, Teddy, and Morgana, rank
Koromaru is
them.
the best. Yeah, Koromaru.
Why?
Because he's a good boy and he has Cerberus as his persona. He is like a legit animal who will protect everyone. He's not a mascot character or anything from the shadow. He is a real animal with feelings.
He is Mascot, technically.
He might as well be another human on the team. Whereas Teddy and Morgana are actually entwined with like the Shadowverse of the games. So it's like they're there, but they're not like. Oh, it's so hard to explain. How do I like explain why Koromaru is cool? Well, yeah, instead of an evoker, he has a shock collar. Like that's pretty rad. It's like you're playing Star Wars and you have a droid, and not everyone understands what the droid is saying, but we all feel what the droid is feeling. And that droid will taser somebody for you, and you're like, that's a good droid. That's Koromaru. Koromaru is just a good boy, and he doesn't know any of the crazy stuff going on except woof woof, these are my friends. I am going to protect my friends, woof woof.
Like,
and I love him for that.
for me, I don't like Koromaru at all. I don't like in terms of like part of the story. He adds nothing to it. Like that's my main gripe. He adds nothing to the story. He's essentially just there. No character to him. It's just like that's why like I rate him so low. Like even like my now current playthrough like P3, I'm just like I'm not leveling him up because like he does nothing. He adds nothing to the game. Like he's like he's a dark user. Well, I could basically be that myself. I don't need him.
Well, sorry, I have to stop you there. You can't use that argument of, well, I could be that myself. You are a fool. Literally, you could pick any persona and build it any way you want. You could replace any of your party members. That's not fair to call out Koromaru when you can do that to anyone.
Yeah, but the thing is, everyone else has character.
Fair. That's on his character. That's not on his ability to be a good party member.
Like just like even like to sidestep it a little bit, like in like Yakuza 7, there's a there's a secret character that you can get, and just like, oh great, you can get her and she's par along with the game for an entire way, but unfortunately she has nothing to do with the story. So it's just like, oh, I hate this.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, they'll probably. I put Koromaru top because Persona 3 fan, and I just love Koromaru the way he is, and the fact that his entire motivation for being with us is because his owner got killed by the shadows. Like, I feel like it's just really cool. Teddy's next, because Teddy, although he can be annoying at times, he really does try his hardest in fights with the party. And even during his shadow moment in 4, he feels a little broken, but he is honestly a really good party member and is with the team the whole way. And I don't know, I just really like Teddy. He doesn't outstay his welcome, usually. He does have the stupid moments, but, you know, that's usually during the moments that we'd all find a little bit silly, like the pageant and like the hot spring and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Morgana. I just don't like Morgana. I mean, I liked Morgana at the start. I was like, oh yeah, you're like my favorite fucking mascot character. And then I was just like, man, I really wish Morgana didn't keep telling me to go to bed.
Yeah, that
Oh
was...
man, I really wish Morgana would stop literally trying to stab Ryuji and trying to sleep with Anne. Oh man. Morgana, why did you spend an entire chapter of the game's story to sulk and to run off and to be a little shit?
Yeah, that's like a major like contention. Like
That was one of the points in the game where I stopped liking Persona 5 as much as the others. Because I felt like everything slowed down and I cared less because of Morgana and all the stuff he pulled.
yeah, like
Now, on the bright side, I got Haru after, which fucking Haru's great, but Morgana like sank to the bottom for me after that. And he doesn't ever really redeem himself afterwards either.
yeah, like it like ever since like after Persona 3, like I feel like just like character development is just like gone after like the character's dungeon, whereas like with Persona 3, like their character development continues on the entire game.
Yeah.
Where just like I just hope that like if that P3 remake is real, they don't change that. Keep the character development within the story. Don't let it be tied to just like the social link, because like that is
I feel like and it sucks more in 5 because social links are also like really big on how you play the game because it gives you all those passive bonuses. So you're missing out on actual character growth because, yeah, but I want this bonus though. So why would I touch you when this one's so much better? You know?
yeah, like there's literally like just like one confidant in like P5 where it's just like completely useless if you're just good at playing, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's just like oh hey, unless you lower your what's alert rating, which is like, bro, I don't even get alerted in the first place, why do I need you?
Right. I think the first confidant I finished was the sun.
That was the
politician.
yeah, the politician.
Because negotiation is great.
Yeah, I don't really like demon negotiation. Like,
Well, you
like
better not play 1 and 2.
I mean, like it was fine. Like in 5, 4 and Apocalypse is just like I think that was like my first like real like going through that negotiation. And yeah, it got me a little anger and just like, okay, but I can deal with it. But Nocturne is just like, oh, I hate this. I hate this new demon negotiation. It's so annoying.
Oh man, I'm gonna find a screenshot for you. Keep going, keep going.
I like, at least 5. Okay, you can get better by going out with like the sun, better negotiations, make it even easier. Just like, oh, just talk like, hey, I'll join you, or something along the lines of that. So yeah, it's better. Not sure if they'll bring it back, like if Persona 6 is a thing. Do you think like they'll do that?
I love demon negotiation. I just feel like if the system isn't like sometimes it feels archaic. But you also get really good moments.
Yeah, like they're like, I think
like just gonna post a few examples here from the original SMT game, which I think the SMT1 is like a fantastic game that people could definitely try out.
Just pulling it up.
Yeah, these are Jack Frost is kind of crazy when you negotiate with him in the first game.
No, it's not showing. Come on.
It's
not showing on screen, but saying it's Jack Frost saying, if you're such hot shit, then crush this rock with your bare hands. And then another Jack Frost saying, you got a deep voice for someone with no balls.
Yeah, like the demons are rough in the first games. Like I love the negotiation moments where they're just like, it adds a lot of character to the demons. Because most of the time, like if you're playing Persona, it's like You say persona, and then they do an attack, and that's it. That and the backstory page they have on the compendium. Whereas when you do demon negotiation, kind of like P5 does, you get a good feel for what they're about, you know? Sometimes they say some really funny shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, like in I think in SMT5, like there's demon negotiation there as well. And like like if you have like certain demons in your party, they'll just come out and talk to like certain demons, just like, "Oh, hey, I know you. We're from like similar family," or like you're an evolution of mine. How does it feel to be like, you know, bigger and something like that? It's like,
Yeah, like
okay, that's pretty funny. That's pretty cool.
yeah, like I think that happens with Cerberus and another like the evolution of it. Like it's really cool. There's little bits like that where I love demon negotiation, but in Persona it's weirder because again, going back to Persona 1 here, every persona you use is available to you. Like every persona that you actually manifest as a character are all different like sides of you that you can use. They're all just locked away until you unlock them to use for battle. And the reason why they exist as mythological beings is because those are the type of archetypes as we as a society subconsciously know them as. It's really like heavily like a lot of the personas and the mythological traits of some of the ones that you get to use in the games are based on actual like psychology theory. So it's really cool. So for demon negotiation, it would be like a little bit more difficult to capture that because whereas you have a demon who's really like fuck off human, you have personas which are I am a part of you, I am the shadow, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, have you seen anything of Persona 5X?
No.
Do you know what that is?
Is that a mobile game? What is
Mobile
Persona
slash
5?
PC. Yeah, so
Okay, the Phantom X.
yeah,
I don't know what this is.
yeah. So this is a Chinese Persona game with approval from Atlus and Sega. So they are like overlooking, you know, the development of this, and it's kind of a sequel to Persona 5. So like it's taking place in 2026 apparently. And like the characters look pretty good. It really does seem like it's kind of using, well, at least from the first like look from like the beta, like it's kind of using some previous themes. Like there's like a Kamoshida looking like a boss, but like I think that's just like for people to like, hey, well, let's give them something similar so they can get used to before we expand out to what we really got. But yeah, it's a mobile slash PC Persona 5 game. With new characters. They look pretty good. I would say the naming for like some of the newer characters is like kind of disappointing because it's literally just using their name, not a code name. Or like
Yeah.
like with like a Joker, Skull, Panther, and we just got like I think one of them is like UG, and his name is UG. But like I do like how like their personas look, and like the Velvet Room is like really great. Apparently like they're reusing like an old concept that was like originally used, that was supposed to be in like the original Persona 5, where like it was supposed to be an aquarium for the original, and now they're bringing it back for P5X.
Yeah, I was skimming the trailer and I saw like the whale on top. That was pretty cool. Yeah, this is the most weird trailer. This is so strange because it literally looks like Persona 5 just again.
I mean, it's like, yeah, it's taking place like it's in the same area, same same world, just a little
Another
bit in the
Mascot
future.
character which turns into a vehicle. The same UI, the same. Wait, what? Hold on. Wait a second. Oh, that's cool. On the top left, you can actually see the order of when people go in the turn order.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, it just looks like Persona 5 again, but with like only what looks like 2-3 characters.
Oh, that's just for the initial trailer. I'll link you to like where they show off. Well, they introduce more characters. Like it was initially. Do you know or heard of Codename X?
No.
Yeah, that was like the initial reveal of like this game, but that was like 3 years ago. And now there's like, okay, this is what it really is, Persona 5 X.
Okay. Okay, so I see more characters now.
I feel like they're kind of keeping it safe with like the character designs, not going really all out.
This looks really cool.
Is like there's not really like a theme like you can tell from them, like compared to like the original team. Like okay, we got like Joker as Lupin, like Skull's like a pirate. But like you can't really tell with the others.
I'm really I wish they didn't call them Persona 2s.
And I'm confused as to why is it called that? Like why is it called Persona 2s? What does that mean?
I'm assuming that's their way of saying evolved Persona.
I don't think
turning into their persona is what I think is what's happening.
No, they're not turning into their personas, because there's like some gameplay out there, and they showed the gameplay, and like yeah, they just summon like regular personas.
I don't know then. I think it's really cool. Oh man. I mean, after Royal and then Strikers and all, I'm kind of tired of P5's art style. You know? Like, I could see everyone playing this and it's great, until like P6 is announced, or the remake for P3. But I just don't see myself wanting to play this yet, Like if this would have been like the big great reveal at Persona 25th Anniversary, like would you have been disappointed? Or would you have been hell yeah?
It would be half and half because like holy cow, this is something like this is like
really
this is
cool.
new, this is something we haven't seen. But then like if they were like this is for mobile and sort of PC, you're like you hyped this up for a mobile game.
But you know what this really does make me excited about? Atlus is willing to lend support for people that want to work on the Persona IP and franchise.
Yeah, like
that is the most open a Japanese company has been in a long time.
Yeah, they've mentioned before, had to say like, oh, we want to like help bring more games to the Chinese audience, so they have like a Chinese developer make this.
It's really neat that they're doing that. And it's nice to have another Persona mobile game that isn't DX2. Well, it's SMT, but
Yeah, like I haven't even heard people talk about that in a long time.
SMT actually has a lot of mobile games. They're just Japanese only.
Yeah, but one bad thing that because this is being developed as a Chinese game, that there are unfortunately censorship, especially with the personas.
Yeah, I mean,
Hellbikers,
like,
his skull is like gone. I believe Succubus is like fully covered. And like,
but you know, it's from a Chinese studio, and you know, it is what it is.
and the
you can't
worst
really
thing
blame them
is,
for that.
they covered Incubus's dick.
The whole thing is just gone.
Yes, and he's wearing pants.
I would need a screenshot of that.
I
That'd be fantastic.
I will provide that, because just
At a
like
later time, yeah. That's wow. Love it. Speaking of censorship, for those who don't know about P2, I just want to point this out here. So you know how localizations are pretty crazy, right, Power? You know what I'm about to talk about.
I'm sure that wasn't P1.
No. Hear me out. P1's pretty bad, but I want to talk about the awesomeness that P2 decided to do when they localized it to the West. So the U.S. for Atlus West here decided, hey, honestly, I kind of like that design as well. It looks kind of nice. Anyway, oh, that just looks bad. So P2, in everyone's infinite wisdom, when pointing to the West, decided, hey, Hitler's in this game.
Yep.
How do we make it not a bad thing to have Hitler in this game? Okay, well, we can't call him Hitler, so let's call him Führer instead. Because, you know, no one would ever think that Führer means Hitler. And then they went, cool. But he still looks like Hitler, so how do we make him not look like Hitler? And, you know,
I think
America
that they
said,
do in the Marvel franchise.
give him 6 sunglasses. And so you have Hitler with sunglasses, and that's their version of censorship. Well, they did take out the swastikas on his boss floor and replace it with the Iron Cross for Germany. But, like, nice job. Oh, Incubus looks weird with pants on. And this is how I feel when they did that. You know, this perfectly encapsulates. They did Hitler, and then they did cooler Hitler. That's censorship, baby. But at least they didn't do something ridiculous, like, you know, make, I don't know, main character black for no reason. Persona 1. Don't know why they decided to do that.
Who knows? Just
Who
like
knows? But no, like China and this whole thing where if they have to get rid of the skulls and they have to get rid of a lot of fan service stuff, and you know what, that's fine. At least they're getting their product out and it's being widespread and it looks great.
Bugs is just a teddy bear.
It's literally just a teddy bear. But see, then that makes me wonder about like what some designs look like in the China version. Like, what does Picasso look like?
I mean, I hope that, you know, if this does get like, you know, a Western release, they'll just like, yeah, well, let's restore it back to the way it was.
I'm sure it won't be that hard, because they could literally just use the models from P5 at that point. Because it looks like it's in like somewhat the same engine, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
So yeah, I'm awesome. I love the Phantom X. That looks cool. Burnt out from the P5 art style, but I would like to try that sometime. Do we know if it's coming to the West soon?
No clue at this moment. Like, they recently had like I think closed beta, so they're still very much working on it.
Alright, well, I hope to hear more news about that soon.
Yeah,
I know some people love the P5 style, so
yeah. Oh, sorry,
right,
that's so just calling.
Is there any more news, or?
not much, but like the last like thing that I kind of use a Persona Central as little having point with the news.
Okay.
There's new demons There's a collaboration with Dragon Poker. That's the Japan only thing. And I don't even know what Dragon Poker is, so
I have no idea. Like in my
I'd
brain,
never
I
heard
just
of
think
it
about
before
Puzzle and
today.
Dragons.
But
Oh, did you hear about the fan polls for the popularity stuff?
oh yeah, that was that's a thing. Like
That's
they
the
did
thing.
Persona 4. And of course, oh boy, the Pro Tag took first place. And then Best Girls took second and third.
Ooh, best girls. Okay, so you think Rise's best girl on that list too? That's crazy.
Yep. Like it's hard to choose between Naoto and Rise. Just like you choose the one who is very forward and will tell you, oh, she loves you and whatnot. Or you choose the mysterious tomboy who has massive junks.
Can we just talk about how sad it is for Kanji on this list?
Yeah.
Teddy is over Kanji consistently.
No, like
Except for-
Kanji's over Teddy.
Well, for the Southeast Asia, yeah. But if you go to the rest of them as you scroll down, he is no one else.
Oh, Asia.
Yeah, Asia really doesn't like Kanji.
Korea.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the Japan one or the Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonder why.
Oof.
Like,
yeah,
seeing,
like I think Naoto's best girl. So it's all good.
And I'm surprised that Rise's like in the top 3 for all of them.
Yeah. Everyone loves Rise. She's just right up in your face. It's great.
Like I also like a lot of people say, "Oh man, I hate Rise." Like, well,
Oh, I don't hate her at all. I just never felt like, oh yeah, I want to romance her.
like
I feel like she just came too late. I feel like I already had my answer for who I wanted, and then Naoto came along and like made me like change everything in my brain.
Like I feel like some people like this is just like a head theory, just like people don't like Rise just because like, oh, she's up from like what she wants. It's just like, yeah, I like you, I love you, like I want to be together. Versus the others, just like, what? How can you say that? How dare you say that you like
She knows
him?
what she wants. Even if you don't romance her, she tells you she loves you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This portion of the podcast is sponsored by you, the patrons on patreon.com/CavePodcast. With as low as $3 a month, you can support me and the podcast with benefits such as exclusive posts, early access to the podcast, no in-video ads, your name scrolling in the video, and much more. So please consider supporting your boy over at patreon.com/CavePodcast. And now back to the show. It's crazy how you tell someone you like them, like, oh wow, people like you too. Sometimes.
Yeah. As for another poll, the favorite Persona games according to the poll. Last place, P4 Arena. Second to last place, Arena Ultimax.
I mean, it does what Arena does, but better, basically.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it's tied for 9th place is all the dancing games.
Wait, including 4?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna lie, I would place 4 much higher than P3 and P5.
All 3 of them got same votes. Q2 got 8th, and then the first Q got 7th. After that, Strikers was 6th place. Now, who do you think got 5th place?
Okay, gotta think. Persona 1.
Yep. After that, Persona 2.
Both
and
or
third?
Both or just one of the games.
They're great games though. Like number 3. Shocking, actually. Persona 4.
I mean,
Persona 4 in 3rd place.
With 5-second and 3-1.
Yeah. 5-second and 3-1. It's kind of crazy that 4th is like on the bottom of that list. I honestly feel like it would have been like either 5 top or like 4 second. I didn't think it'd be 3rd.
I mean, not gonna lie, with how 4 was milked to absolute, dude, just like, I could kind of understand that.
I guess so. Well, you know, and then they milked 5 pretty hard, so I guess that does keep up with the trend of, hey, we want to see 3 more.
Like, 4 was milked, but 5 it has like the recency kind of bias, so it's like, hey, let's put 3 up here, because we need more 3.
Yeah. I love 3, so it's fine.
Oh, I want to get your thought on this. Have you played or like know about Persona Q and Q2?
I've played in BQ1. I have not played Q2.
Would you consider the Q games canon to the series?
Consider the fact that I've only played Q1, in which it takes place in between the timelines, and they forget everything when they step out of it. Sure.
Like,
because only the main character remembers at the end of the game?
No one remembers. Like, it's only the Velvet Room attendants.
Yeah, like everything that happens kind of doesn't actually happen. It's just like, okay, we're back in the month that we're in. That was kind of crazy, wasn't it? No one remembers.
See, like,
so I don't mind them being canon, especially because I don't know if Atlus ever actually expressed why P3 FemC exists, but from what I remember, the reason for it was it's an alternate timeline because Persona 3's protagonist's family dies in a car crash, and you're like the lone survivor of the crash. And so it's a parallel time of, did the brother survive or did the sister survive? So I feel like with Q2, having them both coexist is fine, because everyone's from a different world anyway. So I'm fine with them being canon.
Well, it's more like oh, the same world, different time, except FemC.
Yeah.
Like, I personally just think like they should not be canon, because like it's not mentioned anything at all after the games happen.
Well, like, because it doesn't, because no one remembers. It doesn't. It's like, a spin-off.
But even like with games that I like made after, like with Strikers, it doesn't come up. Even with like the Velvet Room attendant, Royal, he made after Q2 was made, doesn't bring that up. Just like, I feel like if we like compare this to like something like Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, where it's just like, oh yeah, Sora and the gang forget his memories, but it's canon because it keeps on, because it's being brought up, whereas it's never being brought up ever again after Q.
Well, then I think that's Atlus's hand telling us that it is not canon because they refuse to bring it up.
Yeah, but like people are saying like, oh, because this one Atlus USA representative says, oh yeah, it's canon, like, oh yeah, it is canon, then like that's why.
Yeah, but if they don't do anything with it, does it really matter?
Just like, if it's canon, make it like, so like at least it's a mention.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, at least they say that the Persona 3 and 5 dancing are canon, because it's like, oh, it's all happening in a dream. So just nobody will remember this except for the Veldring pretendants.
Well, it doesn't, like, to me, whether it's canon or not doesn't matter, because until they do something with it, then, you know.
Yeah, just like
I'm sitting on the fence. I'm sorry. I got nothing.
just be like, I need that lore confirmation. I need that if it's lore and it's confirmed, bring it back into the story so like I can like verify. Just like, okay, yes, it is confirmed. It actually happened. I can let that go.
Speaking of crossover stuff, I really do like that Q2 actually references Persona 2.
Yeah, like I think like even like the one of the characters like is dressed up as another character from Persona 2, I believe.
In Persona 2, the movie theater exists, and movie waifu is there.
Yeah.
I have a picture of movie waifu. Uh, and yeah, I think it's Elizabeth dresses up as her and does the whole gimmick of the movies, and I think it's really neat.
Yeah.
But see, again, it stains a bit because it's like, yeah, they did it, they referenced it, but can you do something with the games, please?
Can you give us more than an outfit and music for a change?
Yeah.
Like we
By the
just
way,
want recognition. More recognition.
Do you have the Royal DLC where you get the costumes and the music?
Yes.
Cool. Have you ever turned on the Persona 1 music?
It's been a while, but I think I have.
Is it the PSP soundtrack or is it like heavy guitar?
I can't say I remember that well because it's been a couple of years.
I'll have to look it up. Because like, man, I just really want that original soundtrack to be in there again.
Yeah, just like Atlus, do something with Persona 1 and 2 that isn't, you know, just marketing materials.
Yeah. I linked a movie waifu to you when you have the chance.
Yeah. There she is.
Yeah, I do love the Q games a lot because Persona Q is reminiscent to, well, it's Etrian Odyssey, but Persona. Yeah. That's what it is. But in the spirit of Etrian Odyssey is Persona 1 and SMT.
Yeah.
First person dungeon crawling. It's really good. I feel like I would love to have the Q games ported at some point.
I mean, it's possible because they like Atlus just like recently, like it's coming out soon. Like Etrian Odyssey 1, 2, or 3 is coming to like PS4 and Switch, I believe.
The only problem is how do you fix that UI? It's meant for 2 screens.
I mean, there's been like I think, yeah, I believe NIS like a couple of years ago like did like their own like first person like dungeon crawl like Etrian Odyssey, and they did just fine. And I think like a sequel's coming out soon. It's all on one screen. I think called Labyrinth of Despair, I believe.
Okay.
But like I think with the Atlus with their Etrian Odyssey, they have like, I think they're just like doing similar. I think it was they're doing like 2 screens on one. But like mostly they're just gonna be like autofilling, I think, or like as an option. But like you can switch the screens back and forth if you want.
Yeah.
So you can like manually put things there if you want, or just do it automatically.
I do know that I feel like we're just gonna get a lot more ports this year. Because we started this year with P3P and P4G and all that stuff, you know. But they said that they are preparing several new unannounced titles. So, hoping.
I hope so, cause just like, just leaving out for leaving the air, just like, yep, we have something, but we're not gonna announce it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just I just hope that it'll satisfy everyone when it's announced compared to last year. And I really hope Atlus learned their lesson and not have an anniversary last an entire year. Because that was just like, that was energy consumption to its maximum. Like, just getting excited and then let down. Get excited, let down.
I mean, it's better than... Remember when Persona 5 was first being mentioned, when they wanted to show off stuff for the game? They had this huge, big old countdown timer. And then when they actually got down to Persona 5 to show off the game, they didn't show anything for 2.5 hours.
Was that its first showing, or was that later after? Because, like, I remember, like I was up that day, like, it was the announcement, like, for dancing, Ultimax, and then, like, Q, and then ended off with Persona 5, with that whole, oh, you want emancipation?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mind that, because, like, it's a little teaser, but, like, yes, we got confirmation Persona 5, woo!
But it took, like, it was literally to the end. Like, there was, like, 2.5 hours of talking. And they talked about dancing, and they talked about everything else except for Persona 5.
I mean,
and then
at
at the
least
very end,
all those
like,
were, like, brand new games that we're getting.
Yeah.
So...
And then at the end, they're like, oh yeah, Persona 5 exists, here you go.
I mean, like, at least that is all, like, bunched up into one announcement and not multiple throughout the years. Make people wonder, what is this? Please let this be new. And please not let this be exclusive stuff. Because holy cow, like, they, like, had, like, just some announcement that was just like, oh, hey, we are restreaming Persona 4 or Persona 4 animation for a Japanese audience. I'm just like, okay, but what about the West? We got nothing.
What about the West? So it says. Exec. It's all good.
Like, you guys already have this stuff, you know? It's just like, you know, like, why should you guys have better streaming services?
Alright.
But so, I think one last topic we can go to before we end off this episode is, what are your hopes for Persona 6? Because recently, you know, with that Persona 3 leak, it was also said that Persona 6 has also been in the works for a couple of years, but it's not ready to be shown off.
Alright, so before I talk about P6, let's talk about, like, something that's kind of important about P6. What's the color? It's gonna be green, right? Yeah.
With that whole wall of characters and that just green paint on the side, just like, oh, why wouldn't it be green?
Right, like, it looks kind of cool.
I mean, they were getting ready to show something off at the 25th anniversary. It was gonna be Persona 6. It's just like, nope.
Nope.
It's gonna be green. It has to be green.
Yeah, but we're pretty sure it's green though, right? Okay. God, what would I want for P6? I mean, can I be honest?
Sure.
I don't want anything like P5. I want the opposite. Or I want something more akin to P1. I want, like, adults who are struggling with society, like P5, but, like, I want, like, adults that are having to deal with, like, the crisis of the shadow and, like, trying to fake your way through life, and then realizing that that's not how things are supposed to work, and that the only way to, like, wake up and get through everything is by showing your true self. I want, like, the shadows to, like, overflow. I want it to be like a crisis event. I want Nyarlathotep to come back, and I want everyone to have to band together to fight against it. I want humanity's test to happen again. You know? I want, like, P1, P2 style, where the Shadowverse is insane. Like, I love Mementos and the idea of Mementos, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The collective unconscious psyche of everyone, which is manifesting things. underneath the city. I want that, but I want it like not to be a background or a side dungeon thing. I want it to be like a main focus. Like I would love an upside down Tartarus, or the city itself is changing and everyone can't not handle that.
Okay. Well, what do you want like the Velvet Room theme to be?
The Velvet Room theme?
Yeah.
Like instead of like an elevator or like an aquarium and all
Yeah.
that. Ooh. I don't know. The aquarium is hard to like touch because like it's the unconscious sea of everyone's souls, you know? What do I want 6 to do? That's hard.
Like it could be anything. You got an elevator. We got a limo. We got a jail cell. We got an aquarium. We had technically like an opera hall.
It'd be really crazy if like the Velvet Room was like a mall escalator.
And
like you're just in a mall and like you have to go up like Igor's like your attendance. I don't know. That'd be funny. Trying to think of like an actual good answer here. I have no idea.
Welcome to the Mall of Velvet.
Because each one is like kind of a metaphor for what's happening, right?
This is the store of your overwhelming debt.
Well, you know, Persona 6 should be about like the mindless consumerism of society. You know, like that could be a thing. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Maybe I can bounce off of what you're saying and I can figure something out.
Okay,
what would
like
you want the room to be?
not gonna lie, I don't want it to be adult theme or like adult character. Well, I'll be alright if there are some adult characters in, you know, as the party.
I'd say like last year of high school.
Yeah, last year of high school. But like I don't mind if there's like some adult characters, like, you know, in the party. I don't mind that. But as in a full-on adult team, like that's kind of iffy for me, because I as adult myself, I do not like adult life.
That's fair.
Yeah, just of course going with the green theme. Just
What if Persona 6 isn't a hospital? What if the Velvet Room is a hospital?
We need to heal the soul of the unfortunate victims.
Dude, like whenever you go into the Velvet Room, it's like you're in a coma. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, just like, oh, you're awake. We have you, the eye drop of your collective personas.
Well, no, like you sign the visiting form or whatever, the patient form.
Yeah. And then you go to each room, and each room is a different persona room. Okay, we're gonna need to bring you in, and then bring this other personas in, and then we're gonna go into the surgery room and fix you all together.
Your nurse is the Velvet Room attendant. Igor is the doctor.
He's a surgeon.
The surgeon room is where you fuse personas in this really fucked up like way.
He's got the scalpel.
Oh my god.
Like it's gotta be like a very what's a horrible like surgery room in movies? Like,
look, man, we're just going full Frankenstein, okay? We're just.
I mean, like the Velvet Room attendants are based off of like I think like Frankenstein's monsters or like something related to that, I believe.
Yeah.
But like a hospital themed Velvet Room, like that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, it like just really fits. Like, oh yeah, we can do all the fusing there. But like like the theme for like the game itself. I mean, like with Persona 3, it's, you know, death, remember death, and how people, you know, cope with death, and deal with it. 4 is, you know, finding out the truth. 5, you know,
Breaking
the
free of the chains of your life.
yep. So it's just uh, like free the truth. We're the press, free the truth. No.
That's 4. What would 6
Free
be?
the truth of death.
God damn it.
See, we're not game developers. We can't come up with this stuff.
You know, green also means something sickly. I could definitely see like a hospital in green.
Where it's like we search up, oh, what does green mean in different, you know, different, you know, media and whatnot.
Yeah.
What does green mean? No, I do not want to look up what does green poop mean. No.
Ew. It's gonna be a really shitty game.
I mean, it means optimism. So something like, oh, we need to bring some hope up. We need to, you know, revive, like renewal. Like, we need to bring back hope to the world after, you know, some. I mean, if we relate this like kind of back to COVID, like, oh, we were all so down, you know, during COVID.
Dude, you know how relatable that would be? That'd be crazy, actually, if it like has to deal with like isolation and like being sick. And what if your character has like an incurable disease?
And then he only has a year
And
left
he
to
only has a
live.
year left to live. Oh my god! That's it. That's the game. That's so good. Oh my god.
That fits in with the hospital theme too.
Oh.
No.
We made Persona 6. Thank you, Atlus. We'll take our paycheck in the mail.
Yeah, we'll get a percentage of every, you know, copy sold. You know that too.
No. I doubt it's anything like that, but that'd be really. I think that's a cool idea, though.
Yeah, just like. Yeah, you got a year left to live. Like that's a bad ending. You die at the end of the year.
Yeah, and like the good ending is that all your friends push you through to make it through the procedure.
Yeah.
And then then you recoup.
That would be wild if like that's actually a thing.
Reverse Nanako.
Oh, Nautico is your nurse.
Oh, shut up. That's no. But like, but what would like kick the story? Like, what's the? Is it dealing with the inevitability of death again, like Persona 3? Is it like coming to terms with your life and trying to live your life to the fullest?
Well, like, I think it's like try to like find the good within the bad. Like if we're going like
Your
the
character is scared to do anything because there's a year left to live, and so like your friends, like you're pushing through the boundaries of what you can do.
Yeah, like whereas like 3 is like, oh, death is coming. Oh well, they like can't do nothing. Whereas like, oh yes, we can do the most, you know, what we can with death. We know it's happening, but just like how like can we make the best out of it?
Sounds so crazy. I don't know. And then it's like, okay, yeah, but you have a sick character. How are they going to perform in battle? Like, what's the? Yeah, that'd be crazy. I don't know.
Like
double down on the guns. Just kidding.
Double guns.
I mean, for P1, you start the game with like MP5s and shotguns. So I mean, it's not unheard of.
Yeah. But we think like a Persona mythological for like our party, like at least like P3, like they're all like kind of like Greek, Roman base. Well,
What if you
majority
had
of them.
like the Four Horsemen?
And then like P4, they're all Japanese, and then P5, they're all thieves.
Yeah, but like, what if you had like the Four Horsemen and your character's pestilence?
I mean, we're gonna need more than the four horsemen if we're gonna have more than 4 party members.
I know. I'm trying to think. God.
It's like we have the 7 deadly sins, but those are the villains from 5.
Yeah. We've touched like 5 touches a lot of mythology too. Like it touches like Egyptian, touches 7 deadly sins, Greek. And you have like Persona 3, which touches like Greek. 4 touches like more traditional like Japanese mythology.
Do we have like something that like covers like the stages of grief or something like that?
We might.
Like just like have like art like what personas are related to like denial, anger, like all that, because that could be some like interesting. Like god of anger, god of denial, god of bargaining.
There is like the tale of like Echo and Narcissus, which is Greek.
Oh, there's a I was about to say, oh, there's a god of bargaining. Yeah. Well, there's a guy named Jephthah who chooses to barter.
Oh my god. There's Norse mythology, which has Sin, which is the goddess associated with defensive refusal and denial.
Oh, Peitho is the god of persuasion and seduction. It's like there's a god for everything.
We've gone full off tilt. We've just like we're
it all connects. It all connects back, dude.
We're all good. So, what would we like out of Persona 6? Maybe late, like just about to be on their last year of school, graduation time. Probably have a character or two who just graduated. So you have like the senpai characters, who are also like more experienced and help us out.
Like, well, what are like some things from past games that you want to see into P6? Let's say like what out of like each game. So it's not like
I would like it to be more linear, like 3.
Yes, most definitely. Like definitely have like a character development throughout the entire game, not tied to social links for like 3.
Yes, I would love that a lot more. I would like the dungeons from 5.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty good. Just like it's not like, oh yep, it's all randomized. Well, like
yeah, I like the dungeons from 5. The fact that it's like a curated experience, and that would fit with it being like a linear thing with 3. You know. What would I want from 4?
I was gonna say something similar to like the weather system, but like make it its own for 6.
Well, they did that for 5 too.
Well, but actually like affects like what you do in the game. It's not just like, oh, it's raining, but you can still go out and whatever. Then I was thinking like, oh, that's just like got the sickness, like in 3.
I would like if you redid the thing of going back to old dungeons from 4 and fighting like new mini bosses that appear.
Yeah, I do
And
like that. I
I
did like how like Five's like, oh, you can't go back. It's like
yeah,
I do definitely want to go back to different dungeons. See like,
I
oh,
would like if I went back to a player's shadow palace dungeon, like, and the character like goes back there after a period of time and gets to reflect on what happened since their awakening.
yeah,
I think that'd be really cool.
yeah, that'd be really interesting. Like, wow, I was like that back then. Can't believe how much I change.
I agree, Salem. That's my cat. I apologize.
Now,
Yeah, that's what I would like. I think that's a good thing to take from all the games.
yeah, that'd be like just really good. Just like, oh man, like that was actually a thing. That'd be really amazing. It'd be great.
Yeah, I feel like they give everyone like more development, and you get rewarded with like an upgraded weapon or something, or maybe a specialized piece of gear for that party member.
But like, I was gonna say something like, freaking, what was I about to say? Like social links. Like, well, what kind of social links do you think, like, or like confidant? Do you think we might might go
Oh,
for
man.
with?
I'm gonna say something kind of controversial. I don't like how social links are handled in 5. I like the idea of each social link giving you like special bonuses, but at the same time, I feel like that again detracts from going towards certain ones because one is clearly better than the others, or vice versa. You know, I feel like you should have the bonuses, but they should be separated by story progression. Like, you know how the character growth gets better like as you go through the game.
Yeah.
I feel like you should have some that like stop at a certain point until you get to a certain point in the story.
Oh, why do I feel like that is a thing?
Like the only one I could think of is Kasumi.
Yeah, like hers is specifically tied. Her and Mark are specifically tied with the story.
Yeah.
But I feel like there were some that was like, oh, you haven't like we haven't. I think like something like with the Oya. I think like hers was also tied like with the story a little bit, because I
I
think
think the
like
reason why you feel that way too is because like there were also some that were locked off unless you had your social stats up enough.
yeah, just like, oh yeah, with how like they do the stats, like since 3 have 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 5 and 5, how they're gonna do 6?
Like the social stats?
Yeah, because like if they're just keep on increasing like the number of stats you're gonna have to do, that's gonna be a little bit overwhelming.
I'm fine if they keep it at the number they have for 5 or 4. I want them to not. I would rather they not make me run every Sunday to go get a smoothie.
But don't you want to raise your courage?
It's a random stat every time. I don't know. I just like I felt like sometimes in 5 there was too much to keep track of. Like the calendar gets crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you literally have a year.
Spreadsheet my week.
Okay, Monday I do this, Tuesday I do that. Friday we go hang out at the theater.
Oh shit, you were available this day instead. Time to reload.
Oh man, I did the wrong decision. Oh no, I forgot my persona to help boost.
I find that like one of the most frustrating things when trying to like get into like Persona when I haven't played in a while. Like if I were to play Persona 4 for like 2 weeks and then I'm like burnt out, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come back to this after I play something else for a week. And I come back and I'm like, cool. What was I doing? What's my week looking like? Shit. You know? I like Persona 4 Golden's button that tells you what people did during that day. I feel like that system helps a lot.
Yeah,
Because that way you kind of can get back into the swing of things and feel like you haven't screwed yourself too much.
they added that in 5, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you had to press like the touchpad, and now show like a percentage of people who did something during that day.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like the social stat grinding gets a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, it could get a little bit crazy, but like if you're able to like okay, pace yourself out. I know certain people aren't available on this days and this days, so let me just make sure it's clear.
I'm like one of those few people that have the mind goblins where it's like I need to try and get everything done on the first playthrough. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, I think like the easy like Persona 5 roll is the easiest way to like the easiest one like to get platinum, like to get everything on the first playthrough.
Yeah.
Because like I did that on my first playthrough, like I was able to get all the Confidant. I was nearly almost done with the compendium. Just, like it was that easy.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, I'm excited to see what P6 could have for us, and I would just like, as I said, what the systems I named, if they could be implemented together in the story, that'd be cool.
Yeah, if they're
In
able
terms
to.
of good dungeons that are tied to the story, and the story is more of a like linear focus than just like a background element of you social linking.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
I think
So
that's why I love 3 so much.
yeah, threes. I love 3 stories and character development. That's the best out of all of them.
Yeah.
All right, you want to wrap it up here?
Sure. Maybe like a quick little Q&A little thing. I throw a question at you, you throw a question at me, and then we just end it off.
Okay, if you want.
Cool. Out of all the SMT Persona games, what are the 3 demons/personas you always want to have? Or maybe one you find is underrated.
Oh man. I think it's probably I really like Yoshitsune. Shiva,
Okay.
and I think probably I'm gonna go with my boy Orpheus.
Yeah, Orpheus is pretty cool. I find it funny that you picked 2 which are like super physical, and then you picked Orpheus last. Is there a reason for that? Are you more prone to like melee?
Yeah, mainly like like I really love my physical build, like especially like in SMT5, like
Yeah.
like the build and I made just like ooh, all this powerful.
Yeah. I also enjoy physical builds, so I don't know. I find like there's some designs that carry over from SMT, like the physical ones that I think that are really cool. It's hard for me to wrap my head around like the power of some of the physical attacks, like God Hand versus like Primal Force and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I enjoy it a lot. I think that those are solid picks. I mean, obviously you're gonna have Orpheus because Orpheus. You could even solo the game with him, technically.
Actually, not Orpheus. Orpheus Telos. Orpheus Telos.
Yeah. I'm Orpheus, but better.
Okay, so for you, what is your favorite non-mainline SMT game? Like Dojo Devil Saga, Devil Survivor, Soul Aggers.
Oh, that's oof.
What's your
That's
top
hard.
3?
Top 3 non-mainline. All right. I think number one's gotta be Digital Devil Saga. Because it feels like Nocturne, but more like you are a demon and you're eating people. And the story's good. It's really trippy. I just love the designs. I think Digital Devil Saga is like a real step up. Like, that's a really good spinoff. Number two. Can I cheat and say SMT Imagine?
Okay.
That MMO is really good. And for three, man, it's hard because like I've never actually played Devil Survivor, but I hear how good it is, so I can't really put it on my list.
You should have bought it before the eShop ended.
Hey man, we'll figure it out. I know people that may have it. Oh god. I have like one in my head and I just can't think of the name of it.
Could be anything.
I think is it called If? SMT If?
Yeah.
I have to look at it again. Oh my god.
That's a pretty old one.
No, it's not the one I'm thinking of. It's all good.
Describe it.
Is it Summoner?
Devil Summoner, Raito Kuzunoa?
I think so. I think it's...
There's 1 and 2.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm crazy. Number 3, I just gotta say Strange Journey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the original Strange Journey, not the Redux. I honestly think Strange Journey is probably one of the strongest SMT games. Actually. Put that above Imagine, for sure. So, Digital Devil, Strange Journey, and Imagine. If you've never played Strange Journey by itself, not the Redux, obviously, its Law and Chaos characters are some of the best written ones. Like, there's many times in that story where you can definitely go either side. But by the end, you realize, oh wow, both outcomes just suck. And even the neutral ending is like, well, we did it, I guess, but it's not really a good ending. And it's like super SMT. Like, it's really like a struggle to get through that game. Everything has this ominous like atmosphere to it, and it reflects on like humanity really well. I just really like Strange Journey. And you know, it's kind of reminiscent to the Etrian Odyssey games too. So if you like that flavor, it's a good game for you.
Alright, so let's go out here. Thank you so much for joining me on technically the second full episode of the podcast.
Yep. We were running kind of, what, an hour and a half here?
2 hours.
Oh boy, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's alright. It's longer the better, some people might say.
Alright, well, thank you for having me, and I'm glad I could join you and the folks here.
Yep, so thank you so much for joining. And if guys do want do you have any socials you want to splurge?
I do have a Twitter, but I don't actively use it. I'd say if anybody wanted to hit me up or contact me, I just have my Discord, which I can just link here at the end of the episode.
You sure when you want to put people to Discord like, hey, Add.
It's fine.
Right. And yep, thank you guys for watching and listening. Again, if you guys don't wanna watch the video podcast, you guys can always check out the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. They'll all be in the link in the description below. And you guys want to support me on Patreon, it's also there as well. You guys can have your name scrolling through the end of the video, like right now. If there's people here, you'll see yourself here. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time for the next episode of the Cathedral of Velvet podcast. See you guys next time. Bye.
See you.